How's the butter in the bread, mate?
It's not the butter that's the problem. It's the bread.
God! I know, because of the carbohydrates, isn't it? Did you know that Dr. Cruz states that it's the #1 suspect in obesity around the world?
Ah, yes, refined carbohydrates. They're the ones you have to watch out for because of their high glycemic index. Some even higher than sugar. If you remember my teachings correctly, Lee, does what?
Well, clearly stating, it's going to spike your blood sugar. After spiking it, it's going to result in a massive production of insulin. Do you know what insulin is? Yeah. It's insulin, which acts as a medium to carry it to your liver, which becomes large storage fat cells.
That's it. This is the type of information that 68% of men, 55% of women around Australia don't understand. But it's not their fault. It's mostly a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah, like bread.
So they see good foods as bad foods and vice versa. When most people go to the supermarket, they look for the fat content in a product.
Which is completely wrong.
Like kissing your sister in the mouth wrong.
Don't even go there! God, do you believe this guy? Back to the topic. What we should really be looking at is the carb levels.
Should we be letting these corporate giants trick us into these low-fat, high-carb diets?
Well, we should already know the answer to that, and that's a definite no. Why? Because obesity is the physical condition that can produce other sickness, ailments, and it's being caused by the false information being fed to us by either what's circulating the internet or by our own government.
So talking about sickness and ailments, I can name a few. Diabetes, women lose the ability to make sandwiches, babies. Osteoarthritis, leading to immobility, etc. Shall I go on?
No, not really. Obesity sounds bad, but when does being unfit sound right? Right? Well, forgot my next line. Big companies nowadays, well, pretty much they abuse the latter's ignorance towards health. This is becoming dramatic, but highlighting products that have low fat levels, trying to mask the high carb levels.
All these foods we've been tricked into eating, making the species blow up like a big balloon filled with the breath of physical and mental problems. Diabetes is the 6th most leading cause of deaths and is predicted to rise, well, it's predicted to double by 2030 if we keep going on this ravenous eating frenzy.
Well, being like a balloon and all, and being blown up, have you noticed those ridiculous exercise machines they show on TV, like the tug toner, what do you call that thing?
Shake away?
The shake away. It doesn't really work, but they use good-looking people, like with 6-pack abs, maybe 8, they're like abnormal anyways. They use those kind of people to make us think that it works.
Funnily enough, Lee was telling me a story the other day about a commercial spray. It's like a magic spray, you spray it in your mouth, makes you lose weight. I would like to know how the hell they did that, honestly. What does it make you sweat out water weight or something?
Nah, it definitely doesn't decrease your body fat percentage. Or prevent diabetes that seems to be more prevalent these days.
Yes, diabetes is for life, and once you get it, you're stuck with it, and your life will never ever be the same.
I cry for those of these people, but to go emotional, it has not ended. In an off chance, maybe not only them, maybe not only us, maybe their children, maybe their grandchildren, and so on, being recruited to the diabetical cult. They can't eat sweets, man. They can't eat cake. They can't eat anything. It's like dying. And 2 problems occur. Body cells become starved and become energy. And over time, the high glucose levels can damage the nerves, the eyes, the kidneys, and the heart. Yeah. Don't cry, man.
So,
You're a black belt.
so, how do we know we might be getting diabetes? Here's some symptoms. Excessive thirst.
Excessive urination.
Thrush.
Extreme hunger.
Unusual weight loss, which might be well in the case if you have diabetes.
Or if you're obese.
Or if you're obese, yeah. Generally if you're obese.
Extreme fatigue.
Irritability.
Nausea.
Vomiting.
And sweet smelling breath, which pretty much you don't need mints anymore if you're diabetic. Well, that's part, yeah.
You can't eat mints. They have sugar in them.
Oh, well, you don't eat. Interesting fact. People with diabetes can have erectile dysfunction, but you, Master, can have proven to us that you don't need diabetes to have erectile dysfunction.
Luigi, what happens when a diabetic person comes up and points at you?
What happens?
You break the finger, break the elbow, smash the face, kick the back of the knee, which they will fall down, stomp the groin, stomp the head, which you roll over, stomp the back of the neck, kick the ribs, you'll roll back over again, and you'll re-stomp the groin.
Yeah, good example, Master. But, whew. I think you're gonna say something.
I'll give you a minute.
My
Well,
hurts.
miss, it's been being cute and all, but it's time to get down to the real business.
And what business may that be? Those
It's your favourite. It's Q&A time.
It's Q&A time!
Q&A time!
Hey, sounds good. Would you like one of your family members to become obese due to the false information and scam advertisements being fed to us by the government?
Yes.
Well, do you? Yes.
Yes.
God. That's something.
Okay. Would you like your family member's social life to crash and burn before your eyes?
Yeah, that's right.
Talk about psycho. Alex, would you like to be one of those people that are not even capable of fapping? I mean, moving?
No.
I thought so.
Would you like to die of heart disease? Good.
Yeah.
Finally a decent answer out of these people.
Well, we already bet that the answer should be no, but pretty much you guys answered yes. So you guys should see a psychiatrist.
Okay, I'm about to show you some shocking evidence from a documentary called Fathead about how the government is feeding us pseudoscience.
Do you know how to use that?
Of course I do. What the?
Does that have to do with anything?
Do it when they turn up.
Pressing the wrong buttons.
No, there's no wrong way.
In the macronutrient composition that farmers use to feed animals to fatten them up, and that the USDA uses to tell us how to supposedly slim down.
In the 1990s, the Food and Drug Administration decided it was time to help us slim down. So they ordered food manufacturers to adopt a standardized nutrition label that includes recommended servings of protein, carbohydrates, and fat. FDA Commissioner David Kessler said it was the most important battle for public health he'd ever waged. Stories in the media were full of happy predictions about how much smarter Americans were going to eat, thanks to all that good government advice. And since then... well, maybe we're not following those guidelines. Or maybe we are. The nutrition label the FDA made everybody adopt recommends 300 carbohydrates per day on a 2,000-calorie diet. If you ate 4 cups of broccoli, 3 cups of spinach, 2 cups of peas, 5 carrots, and 2 apples, you would consume about 100 grams of carbohydrate. So how do you get to 300?
It would take a lot of cauliflower and broccoli and cabbage and those kind of things to ever get you to 300 grams of carbohydrate. You can do it with starch.
You can do it with, with potatoes, which are basically a pure starch. You can do it without a whole lot of corn or rice, but those are really starchy foods. And the starch in those breaks down in the GI tract, basically sugar.
The speed at which a particular food raises your blood sugar is measured by something known as the glycemic index. Table sugar has a glycemic index of 64. Coca-Cola has a glycemic index of 63. The foods we ate for millions of years almost all had a low glycemic index. So what about all those whole grains the experts tell us should be the foundation of a healthy human diet? Raisin Bran has a glycemic index of 61. Shredded wheat logs in at 67, which means it spikes your blood sugar faster than sugar does. And depending on the brand, whole wheat bread raises the bar to around 70. So whether they intended to or not, the FDA and USDA are telling you to load up on sugar. And lots of it.
The amount of blood sugar in your blood.
Shocking, isn't it? That some of the foods we've been told are healthy are in fact worse. Worse than sugar. And even the dreaded piece of bread.
Don't ever show me that wolf in sheepskin food ever again. See what happened? Oh, wait.
To end this show, we would like to show you the future of the dark path of eating sugar and carbohydrates. This one. This one. Yeah, so you need to be a black belt to understand these things. No, that way. That way.
This one?
Yeah, that
this
one.
one's into.
That one.
God. Look at that. I bet you paid 2 seats for that. He's fucking the whole hallway. Oh, he's oh, look, it's Asian. Wow. Oh, you gotta admit that's cute. And that is cute too. Yes.
That's what you need to worry about.
Yeah. I don't think that's a guy or a woman. That's a whole other thing. Look at that, happy family. Wait, back up a little. This is the real dark side of nutrition. And this is just dark.
I'm Grandmaster Ken.
And I'm Senpai Lee.
I hope you've all learned a valuable lesson about what the government has been feeding you and where the issue of obesity and diabetes lies.
What's up?